Hey everyone, today we're going to look at a special case distance calculation. This was sent in to me by someone looking for some guidance. I'm happy to sit down and make these videos for you. Please let me know if they're helping you out by liking and subscribing. You can email your questions to bluewaterbasics@gmail.com. So your vessel's on a course of 126 at 17 knots. At 0251, a light bears 099.5, and at 0313, the light bears 081. At what time and at what distance off will your vessel be when abeam of the light? So you don't need to memorize special cases, but you do need to know how to recognize them. The reason you don't need to memorize them is because they are in your Bowditch Volume 2. I'm using the older version of Bowditch, but you can go to the distance calculation section. It's number 505 for me, and about a quarter of the way down, we'll read that when the first bearing is 26.5 degrees from ahead and the second 45 degrees, the distance at which the object will be passed abeam will equal the distance run between bearings. So that is the special case we're looking at, and I'll read it again in the purple. If the difference in course and bearings is 26.5 and 45 degrees, the distance run between the bearings will equal the distance abeam. So what does that ask us for? It asks us to find the distance between bearing 1 and bearing 2. We will start with the identification of the special case, which is measuring our difference in course and bearing 1. 126 minus 099.5 gives us 26.5. Measuring the difference between our course and bearing 2, 126 minus 081 gives us 45. And step 3 is identifying this as a special case. What we just read is that if they're 26.5 and 45, that's a special case distance calculation. Step 3 is to calculate the time between bearing 1 and bearing 2. 0313 minus 0251 gives us a time of 22 minutes. So we're getting one step closer to finding that distance. We can then use, for step 5, our distance equals speed times time formula to find the distance when abeam. So 22 minutes times 17 knots gives us a distance of 6.233 nautical miles. We'll look at answer choice B, and that is correct. We can take it the next step further and add the same time that it took us to get from bearing 1 to bearing 2 to get to that distance abeam. So we add time of 22 minutes to bearing number 2, 0313, to get our time abeam, 0335. So after you identify this as a special case, it's just a simple distance equals speed times time problem. It's all about recognizing this as special case and knowing where to find it in Bowditch, because it's a resource you'll get in the exam.